Battlefield 2042 suffers from really bad aim input delay, drift, and acceleration. It's been a constant issue since launch, but today, after doing some research myself along with some help from fellow community members, I have 4 different methods of fixing this really annoying input delay. Some of these methods may help you, but I cannot guarantee they will. Everyone's configuration is unique, and what might work for me mightn't necessarily work for you. With that said, both the 3rd and 4th method seriously improve things for me, making Battlefield 2042 much more playable. If you enjoyed today's video or find it helpful, consider subscribing, it really helps me out. First up, we tackle the in-game settings. Navigate to the settings page, and under the on foot section of mouse and keyboard, you will want to switch off uniform soldier aiming as well as zoom transition. Make sure both of these options are switched off. Do the same for controller users, except controller users have one extra step. Head to the aim section here and set both the soldier aim assist and zoom snap to 0. Then head to advanced and set the left-right acceleration to 0 as well. Switch the vertical aim and zoom ratio to 100 and the coefficient to 178. Finally, if it isn't already, switch zoom transition sensitivity smoothing to off as well. To help even more, make sure VSync is switched off in your display settings, though the in-game option isn't the full picture I've found. Switching VSync off in-game actually just makes it default to whatever setting is selected in your GPU control panel. For me, using an RTX 3080, all of my settings are found in the NVIDIA control panel, so when I switched VSync off in-game, it was actually still turned on in the control panel, causing some weird and serious mouse input delay. So please make sure whatever control panel you're using, whether it's AMD or NVIDIA, make sure you switch off VSync in the control panel, and it makes such a massive difference in game. But method 3, like I mentioned, is the big one. This is actually an issue that apparently affected even older games too, like Minecraft many years ago. The polling rate of your mouse. Polling rate is the speed at which your mouse communicates input to your PC. Over USB, the base polling rate is usually 125 Hz, or once every 8 milliseconds. Most gaming mice, however, typically include a 1000 Hz polling rate, once per millisecond or 1000 times per second. For me, using a Logitech G Pro wireless mouse, my polling rate was actually set to 1000 Hz by default. This leads to a much more responsive mouse overall, but when it comes to Battlefield 2042 in particular, it leads to really bad mouse drift and sometimes some pretty severe input delay. I lowered my mouse polling rate to 500 Hz, which is generally considered the sweet spot for a lot of gamers, and found things to be much more responsive. I then lowered it even more to 125 Hz, and things are actually night and day. I did this by using the first-party Logitech software shipped with the mouse, and I'd imagine the same is done for most gaming mice today. There's tons of online polling rate test websites, so you can make sure things are working as intended. This was the big one for me. My aim in-game is so much snappier now. It really feels like I have control over where my crosshair is going. Sometimes it can be a little placebo though, but in this case I can confidently say lowering my mouse's polling rate made things much better. Again, it mightn't work for everyone, but it's more than worth a try. I also don't know if lowering the polling rate to such a low number makes sense competitive wise. Maybe somewhere between 125 Hz and 500 Hz is the sweet spot. If there's any more experienced or competitive players watching, maybe you can share your thoughts in the comment section below. Finally though, one last method that could help out some of you. This is PC specific. Reports from the community indicate that the platform by which you play Battlefield 2042 actually heavily impacts your in-game aim settings. Now personally, I've found running the game through Origin significantly improves my FPS and performance, though I've heard using the new EA desktop app actually results in better input response. It's probably something to do with the overlay UI or something like that. Despite obviously having that switched off, maybe it messes with things on screen regardless. So there you go. 4 methods of fixing the aim issues plaguing Battlefield 2042 right now. Again, this mightn't help everyone, and even if it does, the game itself is at fault a lot of the time. There's some terrible input lag on controller right now that the core gameplay team at DICE are looking into, though we shouldn't expect a fix until the new year at the very least. Hopefully, things get better with time, but maybe these fixes will work for some of you in the meantime. Let me know in the comments if this video helped or not. I'd like to know if the polling rate method in particular helped. But anyway, thank you for watching. For more Battlefield 2042 content, tickle that subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. Until the next one though, I'll see you later.